This morning, Thursday, June 19th, 1873, Elizabeth Workman has met her maker. In spite of the fact that the jury at her trial 3 months ago recommended mercy, the judge sentenced to death by hanging this woman who had been beaten, mistreated, and robbed by her drunken, disreputable husband for more than 20 years. Since the trial, more than 1,500 signatures have been affixed to several petitions requesting commutation of her sentence. All of these pleas were rejected by Prime Minister John A. Macdonald. 3 weeks ago, Alexander Mackenzie, Lambton's Member of Parliament, leader of the opposition party, hand-delivered a personal letter to the Prime Minister stating that it would be a dreadful mistake to allow the execution of this woman to take place. It was to no avail. Elizabeth was executed this morning. Why was this woman even arrested and put on trial? Her husband died from blows to the head. Did she do it? If so, why? She never confessed. There were no witnesses called to testify on behalf of this quiet, industrious, hard-working woman. Only 1/4 of the pages in the trial transcript contain testimony from the trial, the rest being petitions and letters, all clearly stating that Elizabeth Workman was an abused woman who did not deserve to hang. Why was Elizabeth Workman sentenced to hang? Perhaps she was a victim of a gender-biased, upper-class, male-oriented society, as well as a conflict between two strong-minded politicians, leaders of different political parties. Research indicates that Prime Minister Macdonald might have been under self-pressure at the time. The Governor-General was distressed as they confirmed the death sentence on a woman who had killed her abusive husband. Let's go back a few hours to this morning. A hood over her head, a rope around her neck, this woman heard Sheriff Flintoft read out, "Elizabeth Workman, you have been convicted by a jury of your peers of the murder of one James Workman. For this crime you have been sentenced to hang by the neck until dead. May God have mercy on your soul. Do you have any final words?" The condemned woman replied,
"I can only hope that what I have been going through will serve as a warning to all wives who had drunken husbands and to all husbands who had drunken wives."
On a signal from the sheriff, the hangman pulled the lever. The trapdoor opened. There was a slight swoosh. She dropped through the hole. A momentary thud as the rope tightened. Following pronouncement of death, the rope was severed. Her lifeless body fell. A poor woman. She was not well served by a system that allowed politics to have an impact on the request for commutation of the sentence imposed on her by a judge who portrayed her as an unfaithful woman who should have acquiesced to her husband's every wish, in spite of how much he had mistreated and physically abused her for more than 20 years of marriage. The real crime in this case was that a battered woman was executed after she dared to retaliate against her abusive husband, dared to fight back to protect herself and her 9-year-old son. Elizabeth Workman deserved much better. Her children deserve much better. The only good thing about this story is that men of all classes in Sarnia tried to get the sentence commuted. In a day and age when women had no legal position as persons in their own right, they were considered nothing better than chattels of their fathers or husbands.